is how I play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Oh my god.
What is going on, everyone? DSP here, and I certainly didn't want to be making this video tonight. It's already past 10:30 p.m. my local time. My voice is shot from streaming all day and being under the weather because of allergies that I've had really bad. But I feel I have to make this video because there's some really shitty stuff going on right now in regards to my YouTube channel, DSP Gaming.
It's a horrible situation regarding the publisher, Atlus, and my game playthrough of Persona 5.
And it's so flabbergasting, okay? It's so shocking that what's going on is happening that basically no matter what the situation is, it's bad news for various reasons, which I'm going to talk about. So you may be saying, well, what happened?
Today, I received a copyright strike against DSP Gaming, not a claim, like, for example, a content ID claim where they take ad revenue or not blocking the video or muting it, an actual copyright strike against DSP Gaming
in regards to a takedown notice for 2 videos in my over 300-part playthrough of Persona 5. If you absolutely must know, the videos in question were parts 307 and 325. Now you may say, well, gee, I wonder, what were those parts? Well, first of all, Phil, did you go past the publicly listed requirements that Atlus put on the internet on their own blog site saying that you cannot go past November 19th in-game because they don't want you to do that. If you do, there's a risk of copyright strikes. No. My playthrough is still in October, so I'm not even in the month of November yet, so I did not violate Atlus's requirements about streaming or doing a Let's Play of their game, okay? Now, just for the sake of argument, you might say, well, Phil, are these videos in question critical plot spoilers or big boss fights from late-game bosses? No. In fact, if you look them up, because you can't now, of course, you can't, but I can still see the titles and everything, the 2 videos in question, parts 307 and 325, are me fusing personas in the Velvet Room. Yeah, that's it. It's me fusing personas in the Velvet Room. No plot, no gameplay whatsoever, just fusing of personas. That's it. There's nothing else in the videos. It's 10-minute videos of that.
So it makes no sense whatsoever for Atlus to have particularly targeted my 2 videos and given me a copyright strike. Another thing, not a content ID match or a copyright strike for these videos. It doesn't make any logical sense. It doesn't benefit them. It doesn't benefit anyone. And I've done nothing wrong per their publicly listed criteria that they put up for people to play their game in a Let's Play setting. So what is going on is the question.
What in the holy hell is going on at Atlus, and why did this happen? Now, normally, something like this, I'll just brush it off and say whatever. But things have changed, ladies and gentlemen. You know, I'm not with Machinima anymore. I'm not. I'm with Curse. And if you're not aware, ladies and gentlemen, partnership networks, unless you're a managed partnership, basically don't put up with copyright strikes. So let's say, for example, that this copyright strike sticks and I can't get it removed from DSP Gaming right away.
Curse might drop me, which means no more ads on my videos on DSP Gaming, or I have to go back to my personal AdSense, which, as I told you guys a few months ago when I tried to do that, a personal AdSense on DSP Gaming, I was making, I'm not even exaggerating, about half as much as what I make on ad revenue when I'm with a partner network like Curse. So I wouldn't be, again, I'd be in a financial crisis again.
It's like every time I get out of it, if you haven't noticed the past month, I've been good. I haven't been telling you, oh God, I'm desperate, I don't know what I'm going to do. No, things have been good between the ad revenue I'm making on YouTube right now and the money I'm making on Twitch. I'm good. I can pay my bills, and I'm able to keep doing this as a job, and everything's going good. Now, all of a sudden, another possible crisis, because if Curse drops me, I don't know what I'm going to do. There's very few other partnership networks out there that would probably be willing to pick me up, and if they are, they're going to pay less even than Curse, and again, it's going to be a big rigmarole of me trying to get in with another partner network that I don't want to bother with. I'm happy with Curse.
And this is bullshit that I got a copyright strike for no reason from Atlus. Literally no logical sense. Even legally, it doesn't make sense. They put up what they allow, yet then they went back on their word and gave me a copyright strike. Something doesn't jive here, okay? So, obviously, I'm alarmed, all right?
Now, what have I done on my end, and then why is this a really bad news for everyone out there? I'll tell you in a moment, all right? First of all, what have I done on my end? Well, number one, I immediately served counter notice on both videos. I went back and I said, no, this is not legit. Here's the link to where Atlus says this is their criteria. These videos are in line with their criteria. Therefore, they cannot issue copyright strikes legally against these videos. This needs to be reversed immediately. So those counter notices already went out against the videos immediately. Now, if Atlus 1 responds and says, okay, you're right, then they remove it, then I'm good. Number two, if they don't respond, I believe it's a 2-week period they have. If they don't respond within 2 weeks, then again, it automatically gets removed, alright? So that's good. Chances are, more than likely, Atlus is going to basically reverse whatever this was. But
if they don't, right, and there's a few things that could happen. Number one, they might even start a legal process to sue me. Do you really think that's going to happen for a couple little rinky-dink YouTube fucking videos that have a few hundred views on them? I don't think so. I don't think they're going to go to court and spend thousands of dollars.
So I think this is just a case of them kind of doing some bullshit. I don't know how this happened, okay? So more than likely this is going to get reversed, I hope. Because if it doesn't, alright, and this strike sticks, I'm screwed. But let's hope, fingers crossed, that this does get reversed within the next 2 weeks and then there's no issues, alright? Number two, I already contacted Curse ahead of time. I let them know the situation, how it's complete bogus bullshit, and told them I hope that it gets resolved, and if there's any other information they need, or if they could work with Atlus, that would be great. Because I certainly don't have personal contacts to Atlus that I could talk with. Number three, I wrote YouTube, because I actually have a support line for DSP Gaming.
Because it's such a big YouTube channel.
I have a direct support line with YouTube, and I wrote them a notice saying, I don't know what gives, how could this be legitimate, because here's their guidelines, it seems like it's bogus stuff, can you look into it? So I got YouTube hopefully looking into it, and in the meantime, unfortunately, what I had to do was I had to make the entire Persona 5 playthrough private, so I'm sorry everyone, if you weren't caught up on Persona 5, if you didn't even start watching it, it's gone. There's nothing I can do about it until this is resolved.
There's no way that I could have my Persona 5 playthrough live, because then they could strike more videos, and they could give me more copyright strikes and shut me down, which would be the end of everything, okay?
I obviously can't have that. So this sucks, alright? Now the other thing I did is... As of right now, I'm announcing this. I already said it on Twitter. The Persona 5 playthrough is over at this point. It seems like Atlus is never going to lift their ban of the November 19th deadline anyway. At least they haven't. And it's now been, what, over 2 months since the game released, so who knows. But the thing is, even if they do, I can't trust them. Because this seems legitimate that they did this to me, and who's to say that even though the guy who posts the blog is of one mentality, that they're not still going to issue me copyright strikes. So sadly, ladies and gentlemen, the Persona 5 playthrough is over, which is a shame because I love the game, and I'll tell you right now, it was going to be in my Game of the Year contenders for the year, at least as of right now, it was definitely in the running for the top 10, and now...
I can't even talk about it in my top 10 because I might get a copyright strike against my fucking video if I put any kind of content of Persona 5 in a video. So what the fuck gives? What is going on here with Atlus? It makes no sense. It's completely nonsensical, okay?
So, this is all bad news all around, right? No more Persona 5 playthrough. By the way, I'm not going to play any more games from Atlus ever again. I just have to adhere to my guns now, and that sucks as thing. Persona 4, 3, 5, Persona 4 Arena, Catherine, and other games they've published too. I've played other Atlus published games over the years. Typically, they usually are those JRPG / very Japanese-centric, Japanese culture-like games. So, they're all kind of the same kind of game, but it sucks. I've done really good playthroughs of Atlus games before. But if they're just willy-nilly going to do shit like this and think that it's not a big deal and just give copyright strikes against people, I can't risk it. I just can't do it anymore. So, sadly, Atlus is off the table, okay? Now...
Some people are saying, well, Phil, you're overreacting. How is this an overreaction? If I lose my partnership with Curse on DSP Gaming... I'm dead in the water again. And now I really don't know what I'm going to do because who else am I going to go to? Like I said, there's maybe 1 or 2 other partnership networks I could look to go to who are going to pay less, and who knows if they're even going to partner me. If not, I have to go with AdSense, which pays 50% less than any partnership network, and I'm not going to be able to pay my bills again. And you're going to hear me again constantly every day asking for donations and everything. Yes, I do a little plug segment every day, but, remember back February, March, April, I was desperate. I didn't even know if I was going to be able to pay my basic bills moving forward because of all the bullshit that was going on.
And let me tell you, I've really enjoyed doing these daily live streams and the method that I'm doing them now. I really enjoy doing this the way I've been doing it. This year, I've loved doing the job more than the past, 3 years. No lie. It's actually been a lot better, in my opinion, a lot more positive. And I'm even toughing through allergies and everything to keep bringing you content.
Obviously, I love it, right?
I don't want this to go away because of bullshit from Atlus telling everyone publicly one thing and then literally going back on their word.
And striking me with a false copyright strike.
And then, you know, who knows what's going to happen, all right? So, why is this bad for everyone, not just for me? I'll tell you why. First of all, if this strike is legit, if this really is from Atlus, which it looks kosher, it says Atlus Limited and all that bullshit, so it looks like it's a legitimate copyright strike from these guys, and yes, it's not an automatic copyright strike. Some people tonight on my stream chat were asking me, well, is this an auto-match strike? No, it says manually matched or manually flagged, something like that. So someone actively, supposedly, who works for Atlus, personally went through my videos and flagged the 2 Persona Fusion videos and gave me a copyright strike against it.
Again, it makes no logical sense. None. Especially those 2 videos, it makes no fucking sense at all.
So, all this being said, if this is legit, this means that now, that any company out there, at any time, can hit you with a copyright strike, even if they tell you it's okay. You could have someone on social media telling you it's good, and then you get a copyright strike. You know, it's bullshit. We need to be able to know what we can and can't do. And the bottom line is, I had suspended my Persona 5 playthrough, months ago, when I had reached the date that they didn't want you to go past, and I would have left it at that. I'm just going off of what they told me. So we can't trust game publishers anymore to give us legitimate information as streamers and as content creators. How can we continue to do Let's Plays on the internet? It just gives them unlimited fucking power to do whatever the hell they want, and that's horrible, okay? Now, on the flip side of this, alright? On the flip side of this, and this I'm really afraid of, what if this isn't legit? What if this is a false copyright strike that's not from Atlus and they respond to my counter notices and say, well, this wasn't us, all right? Or, you know, whatever, something like that.
That's horrible. That means someone, again, just like they did to me years ago, found a way to game the system. They found a way to impersonate Atlus and place these strikes against me in their name when they're not legitimate. That's awful. That means that YouTube's copyright system is still broken and can be used and weaponized against unsuspecting and indefensible YouTubers. Like, what can we do? I have no defense against this. At any time, you just hit me with false copyright strikes again. I thought we were past this. So, I don't believe that it was an impersonator. I don't. I think it was actually someone at Atlus who gave me this strike.
The only scenario here where I could think that maybe there could be a positive thing, maybe it was just an honest mistake. Maybe there was a new employee at Atlus who didn't understand that there was criteria for Persona 5. Maybe there was an intern who was doing some work. Maybe someone simply misfucking clicked. Who knows, okay? Maybe it was completely an error, and the error resulted in me getting the copyright strike, and they didn't mean to do that or whatever. Okay, fine. That's what I mean. Then I hope it gets resolved. Because what I'm nervous of is, if one thing was done wrong, what's to say the next step won't be done wrong? So, you gave me a copyright strike in error, now you get a counter notice. Oh, now you'll decline the counter notice in error. You know what I mean? To the point where, what am I supposed to do? To my knowledge, YouTube's copyright system is different. It used to be, you put a copyright claim on someone, they put a counter notice, and then you have to sue them, okay? That was my understanding of how it works now. It didn't used to be like that. It used to be whoever put the claim could say, no, I'm enforcing the claim, leave it on, and then you would be screwed as a YouTube uploader. Your channel would just get the strike permanently. From what I understand, they can't do that anymore. If they try to do that, they have to legally sue you. So we'll see what happens, okay? The worst case scenario here is that sadly, for some reason, they uphold it. The strike stays for some reason. I don't know how, because again, I don't know the whole process.
And I'm going to lose my partnership with Curse. And then I'm going to be screwed again financially, and I'm going to have to try to figure everything out because of garbage.
This is complete and utter garbage. It would be one thing if I had gone past the date that they said not to go by, and I was actively taking that risk upon myself. Okay, then shame on me. I did it, right? I broke their desires, their rules, or whatever. Even though I don't even agree with their rules, I adhered to them. All right? So, I don't know. Obviously, this is a terrible situation. And some of you might say, well, how can we help? Honestly, I mean,
watch the stuff that's on YouTube right now while you can.
Not Persona, obviously, but all the other playthroughs.
Again, if you're watching live streams, you know, cheering, subbing, tipping, my Patreon, Teespring, anything you can do to help. Because right now, I have no idea if I'm about to lose half the money I'm making on YouTube yet again because of something completely out of my control, and I've done absolutely nothing wrong. This is insanity. And if I were rich, I would take them to court. 100%. If I were rich and it was really Atlus who would put these copyright strikes against me and they upheld them, I would go straight to court. and that would end all this bullshit. I would end it once and for all. It would go to court, and it would be hashed out, and we have definitive guidelines on who can and can't claim what and what the process really is. The problem is I'm not rich. I'm struggling here to keep the house.
With the way things are right now, like I said, I'm making ends meet barely, which is good that I'm making ends meet, but I can't have another dip in income for not doing anything wrong.
I've done nothing wrong whatsoever.
So whatever this is going on with Atlus, I mean, it has to be legit. I have to think it's legit, because if it's not, that's horrible. That means there's another problem with YouTube's copyright system when we thought it was fixed. If it was someone at Atlus who did this, hopefully they realized their mistake when those counter notices come through, and they're like, oh shit, and they fix it, and then we can just go back to normal and not have to worry about all this. But I have to share this stuff with you guys.
Because I'm nervous, I'm very fucking nervous, and this is bullshit. We're having such a good year. We're having a positive year. The summer plans I just started playing Red Dead Redemption. Danganronpa 2, I would have played Danganronpa 2 more today if my throat wasn't so screwed up. And, this is a horrible situation at this point, and I hope we can get it resolved. Okay?
Alright, everyone, when I have more information, like I said, I wrote everyone. I'm waiting to hear back on the counter notices. I'm waiting to hear back from Curse. I'm waiting to hear back from YouTube. Even when I get responses from anyone, I will let you know. I'll keep you in the know. And hopefully this was just a stupid mistake that gets resolved, because I did nothing wrong. I literally did what I was told by Atlus to the letter, and still getting a copyright strike is preposterous, and it needs to get fucking fixed. Okay?
Oh, you like my sexy legs, yes. Alright, I'm not dead, but I swear to God, I wish I fucking was.